Imagine being told you can't keep the very soul of your home, your loyal best friend. That's what happened when the HOA decided to ban Laura's dog. But what they didn't know is that Laura wasn't just another homeowner. She was the one person in the county with the power to decide if any animal could stay or go. This is the story of how one dog, one woman, and one secret turned an entire HOA upside down. Story: Laura loved the quiet rhythm of her life. Her mornings started with coffee on the porch, and Max, her golden retriever, always by her side. To Laura, Max wasn't just a pet. He was her family, her comfort, her loyal shadow who had been with her through thick and thin. But not everyone in her neighborhood shared her love for Max. The HOA had a rule, tucked away in the fine print of their bylaws, that no dog over 40 pounds was allowed to live in the community. Max weighed 42, 2 pounds over. To most people, it would have been laughable. But to the HOA board, led by a man named Mr. Coleman, it was an offense serious enough to demand action. At first, Laura thought it was a mistake. She received a note slipped under her door. It read, "Your dog exceeds HOA weight restrictions. Please take corrective action." She chuckled at the absurdity, crumpled the paper, and tossed it aside. But the notes didn't stop. Each one grew more formal, more threatening. Until finally, one morning, a letter appeared with bold letters stamped across the top. Final notice. You have 14 days to remove your dog from the property. Laura sat on her porch that day, staring at the letter, her hands trembling. Max looked up at her, tilting his head as if he could sense her fear. She reached down, stroked his soft ears, and whispered, "They don't know who they're dealing with, do they, Max?" But deep down, she felt the knot of worry tightening in her chest. Mr. Coleman had always been strict, the kind of man who believed rules mattered more than people. He had fined neighbors for leaving trash bins out for too long, for hanging curtains that weren't the right shade of beige, even for parking half an inch too far onto the street. To him, order meant control, and control meant power. And now, Max was his next target. Days passed, and the pressure only grew. Letters piled up. Neighbors whispered when they saw Laura walking Max. Some offered sympathy, shaking their heads in disbelief. Others avoided her, afraid of crossing the board. At night, Laura lay awake, Max curled against her, her mind racing. What would happen if they forced her to give him up? How could she live without him? But there was something Mr. Coleman and his board didn't know. Something Laura had never needed to mention to anyone in the neighborhood. By day, while most people saw her as the quiet woman who lived on the corner, Laura held a badge. She was the county animal control officer. Every animal case in the county, every permit, every violation, crossed her desk. She was the authority when it came to animal welfare. The irony made her smile bitterly. The HOA thought they could take her dog away, when in truth, she was the one person with the legal power to decide which animals could stay or go. Still, Laura chose not to reveal her secret right away. She let the HOA dig its own hole, filing away every letter, every notice, every threat. The day of the HOA meeting arrived. The community room was packed, neighbors filling the chairs, eager to witness the confrontation. Whispers floated through the air. She's going to lose the dog. It's the rule. No exceptions. Poor Max. Laura sat quietly in the back, Max's leash in her hand, her calm demeanor hiding the storm brewing inside. Mr. Coleman banged his gavel against the table. His voice rang out, sharp and commanding. This meeting will now come to order. The first matter, Ms. Laura's violation. Her dog exceeds the weight limit set by the HOA, and she has failed to comply with repeated warnings. By our rules, the dog must be removed immediately. Gasps echoed across the room. Some shook their heads, others muttered angrily. Laura rose slowly, her footsteps echoing against the tile floor. She reached the front of the room, placed her bag on the table, and pulled out a small leather case. The room fell silent as she set her county-issued badge in front of Mr. Coleman. Her voice was steady, calm, but carried the weight of authority. Mr. Coleman, ladies and gentlemen of the board, I am the county animal control officer. By law, Max is not in violation of any county, state, or federal regulations. Your rule is not only unfair, it is unenforceable. The silence was deafening. Neighbors leaned forward, eyes wide. Coleman's face turned red as he stuttered, that doesn't matter. Our rules are binding. Laura looked him straight in the eye. Your rules do not override county law, and as the officer responsible for enforcing those laws, I can assure you, not only does Max stay, but any policy you create regarding animals must align with county standards. If they don't, I have the authority to shut them down. Starting today, murmurs turned into applause. The residents who had been afraid for so long now had a reason to cheer. Coleman's gavel struck the table again and again, but the sound was drowned out by voices rising in support of Laura and Max. From that day on, the letters stopped. The threats disappeared. Max walked proudly through the neighborhood, tail wagging, as if he knew he had won. Children came to play with him,